Welcome to Election Time, where we literally count down to the November 1st local government elections. Tonight on Election Time on Prime, we focus on the Nongoma local municipality. A little more about this municipality. Nongoma is a Category B situated within the Zululand district in the north of KwaZulu-Natal. It's one of the 5 municipalities in the district and has 3 tribal authorities. The Municipal Council consists of 42 members elected by mixed member proportional representation. 21 councillors are elected by first past the post voting in 21 wards, while the remaining 21 are chosen from party lists. In the 2016 local government elections, the IFP won a majority of 22 seats in the council. Well, more on today's conversation then. Each of the candidates will be given an opportunity to make a case for why voters should consider them in the upcoming local government elections. We have the candidates from the 4 biggest parties represented in the wards. To those candidates, remember, once your 2 minutes is up, I will unfortunately have to cut you off. There will, of course, be follow-up questions and an opportunity to respond to what some of your fellow colleagues have had to say during today's session. Well, tonight we begin and we feature the IFP's Albert Mncwango, who is also the mayor, the EFF's Sizakele Mathebula, the DA's Swelakhe Shelembe, and the ANC's Nhlanhla Mthembu. Well, good evening to all of you, and thank you so much for your time on News at Prime tonight and agreeing to be part of Election Time. Perhaps, Councillor Mncwango, let me begin with you and give you a chance to tell voters why the IFP deserves their vote yet again for this round of the local government elections. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself, please.
Well, thank you very much, Kathy. Good evening to your viewers and good evening to my fellow participants in this discussion. As you have correctly pointed out, that in 2016, the people of Nongoma actually gave the IFP the mandate to actually run the municipality here. And indeed, the IFP actually have run this municipality with excellence in terms of service delivery. And right from the onset, as you know, we are actually operating on a very shoestring budget. You know, we are getting 31 million rand, the annual grant for the municipal infrastructure grant, which is a minuscule budget given the fact that Nongoma actually is lagging behind in terms of a number of issues that are actually a basic necessity for the people of Nongoma. But be that as it may, even though that budget is actually not enough for us to meet the needs of the people, however, we are proud to say that with that kind of budget, but we are able to deliver a lot, both in terms in the area of infrastructure development, in the electrification, in housing, in the construction of roads and causeways, and also in assisting our small business people to actually try to make a living, and also in youth empowerment programs as well as women. So I'm very proud that we actually achieved a lot. And I must also say that even though the council here...
All right, Councillor Mncwango, your 2 minutes is up. That's where we're going to have to leave it, at least for now. Let me go by order of what I see on the screen and come to the EFF representative, Sizakele Mathebula. Sizakele, your 2 minutes begins now.
Good evening to your listeners and to the fellow participants. When we speak of Nongoma, we are speaking of a small town that doesn't have toilets in town, inside town. And People, when they do not have toilets inside the towns, people get behind the buildings to release themselves. So you can imagine how dirty and how filthy Nongoma is. Also, there is poor service delivery. There is no water for the people. There is no electricity. The municipality is providing temporary solution for permanent problem. What I'm saying by that is that they are providing JoJo tanks to the people. People do not have water. They provide them with JoJo tanks and trucks. Water trucks are delivering water there. But there is no permanent solution because there is no time whereby we will say our people are not needing water. Water is the basic service. So people are frustrated. We do not have water. They do not have electricity. Then they do not have employment. So if people do not have employment, it gives rise to what I call a secondary social ill, that is gender-based violence. As I'm talking to you right now, like a month ago, there was a woman who was killed at Nongoma by the boyfriend. So the social ills are emanating from frustration that people feel. People get frustrated because they are not employed because of other primary social ills that give rise to the secondary social ills. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Well within the time limit, Sizakele Mathebula, who is the EFF Zululand spokesperson. Let me then come to the DA representative, Swelakhe Shelembe, who is the DA constituency coordinator. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Special greetings to the listeners, as well as to my fellow colleagues that I'm debating with tonight. One, Nongoma is a shame in front of its people. One must say that. And secondly, the incompetency of leadership that is running the municipality is also seen. And it is very unfortunate that after 27 years of democracy, our people are still denied their basic human rights and access to water and access to housing, and the municipal leadership is failing to create a conducive environment for investors to come and invest in that small town. Nongoma is just a one-way street town that is filthy, dirty. The municipality is failing even to provide water to those informal traders who are in the town. And one of my colleagues has just covered that even in their taxi rank, there are no toilets. They don't have access to water and toilet or sanitation, if I may say. So us as the Democratic Alliance, we strongly believe that the people of Nongoma deserve something better than what they receive daily. And in Nongoma as a whole, or in the municipality, we all know that you can only be employed or be part of the programs unless you are a carding carrier of the IFP. We know that. Even the beneficiaries of any so-called community development program, it's only IFP members. We've seen that, and it's very unfortunate that it only benefits for those few select individuals. And what we are advocating as the DA is that we are advocating for
all right, Mr. Shelembe, your 2 minutes is up. We're going to have to leave it there for now, unfortunately. There will be opportunity for further engagement. I know the 2 minutes goes by so quickly. I can see all the candidates are surprised. Sizakele was the only one who did really well in terms of managing time. Ladies leading from the front there. Okay, so let me come then to the ANC candidate, and this is Nhlanhla Mthembu, and perhaps you can begin now, your 2 minutes, in terms of why people should trust the ANC with their vote in Nongoma.
Thanks very much, Kathy. Let me then greet you and my fellow colleagues on the screen in here. I've just heard you saying that you are just following the sequence from the screen. I'm surprised, but I'm number 2 on my screen. But unfortunately, I was just left number 4. But nevertheless,
yeah, no. Unfortunately, that's not how it comes up on the screen.
Okay, thanks then. No, Kathy, I just want firstly just to start off with what my colleague in here, Honorable Mncwango, has been saying, that they are proud of the service delivery having been offered to the Nongoma people by the leadership, the current leadership that leading this municipality. Well, it's a different story from what I know and what I'm just witnessing on the daily basis, because the only crowd that maybe then they could only talk of is just the issuing of proof of residence. Otherwise, people of Nongoma are still, they are still, arguing for a service. Kathy, I'm just talking to you right now, just coming off from the program, talking to the people. The people of Nongoma are still, left behind for so many things. The service delivery issue in Nongoma, in terms of, if I were to give in terms of percentage, I would say the people of Nongoma are at even just below 20%, service as of now. Why I'm saying this, Nongoma town is the face of the municipality. The other colleagues have just mentioned that Nongoma town is a shame. The current leadership as of now, Mr. Mncwango himself is the second mayor offered by the IFP within a term. The first mayor has been
Mr. Mthembu, your 2 minutes is up. Unfortunately, that's where you're going to have to leave it. You see, that introductory remark on the sequencing was also part of the 2 minutes. That's just how it works, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we'll continue the conversation with our candidates who are representing different political organizations from the Nongoma local municipality when we continue with the show after this. We continue with election time on Prime tonight. We're taking a look at the Nongoma local municipality. We're joined by representatives from the DA, the EFF, the ANC and the IFP, and that is the current mayor of the Nongoma municipality, Albert Mncwango. Councillor Mncwango, let me come back to you and give you an opportunity to respond, because while you painted a glowing review of a municipality that is small, that has a small budget, but doing the best under the circumstances, listening to what your colleagues have to say, it seems that that is not the case, that there are many weaknesses in the municipality.
Kathy, the problem that we're having in this discussion is that the bulk of the people that we are participating in the discussion, I suspect they don't come from Nongo. Because if they were, they would actually know that at the taxi rank there are toilets. And in fact, there are 10 staff members that are actually assigned to look after those toilets on a daily basis. If they were actually coming from or residents of Nongoma, they would have known that at this point in time, Nongoma actually has achieved 95% universal connectivity in terms of electricity provision. And that the 5% that we are left with before we achieve 100% actually has to do with the infills, that is those homesteads that come after the first line of electricity supply has actually been completed. So if they were actually coming from Nongoma, they would have known that Nongoma is actually led by highly competent leaders. And that is why we can boast of the following achievements and awards that actually have been handed over to us. Nongoma Leadership 1 is a certificate of the best rural housing project, because we are building houses. Over the last 3 years, we completed 6,000 housing units, the best houses that you can ever find anywhere in the Republic of South Africa. A certificate for best performing municipality in the back-to-back back to basic category. Why? Because for 2 years consecutively, we are getting a good audit outcome, which is not the case with some of the municipalities led by the party represented by one of my colleagues here. And secondly, we are recipients of a good coordinated EPWP program. I can name and actually list a lot of achievements, but I'm not there. Where I am is that we are actually one of the best municipalities that actually have youth programs.
All right, I'm going to have to intervene there. Mayor, you've had a chance to give your response, and certainly those awards must mean something. Swelakhe, they must mean something.
No, but in terms of the way they run municipality, they run as their spaza shop. We've been, receiving a number of complaints from our councillors in the council when they are called at a night before the meeting. What can you call that? And these days, the current leadership of that municipality is busy running his program in the absence of other executive members, even for their knowledge or benefit to know about such programs. They are not getting any information there. Thirdly, our PR councillors have been fighting for the proof of residence. Now we are ending the term, but the leadership of the municipality has failed dismally to give them that access to give out the proof of residence. People in Nongoma, in terms of those EPWP programs, Honorable Mncwango, you know that you only select your activist or whatever you call it. It's only beneficial to those people.
Okay.
We know that. And in Nongoma, last year, if I'm not mistaken, Nongoma, there was a bridge that was built for millions of rands. But if you look at the quality as well as the money that was spent on that project, it's just a shame.
So
and they are busy now building
I'm going to stop you there because I have to give the other candidates an opportunity to also respond and participate in the debate. Sizakele, let me come to you. Again, the mayor is disputing that that Nongoma is in shambles. You talked about no toilets in town. He says not only are there toilets, there's staff that are employed to make sure that these toilets are clean 24 hours a day.
Unfortunately, ma'am, I would say the current municipality has failed the community of Nongoma. They can deny it because now they are on national television, but we all know that Nongoma is the filthiest of them all, of all the towns in our region. Also, the corruption part that is in the municipality, there is poor service delivery for the people, towards the people. So there is corruption because they employ people who are IFP. They are not employing everyone. They employ people because they have the membership of the IFP at Nongoma. Hello, still there?
Yes, I'm still there. I think we are having a bit of a delay with that connection to you now. So Mayor Mncwango, the allegation that the projects that you are running, as efficiently as you say these projects are run, the allegation that they benefit those who are activists of the IFP, who are members of the IFP, who are supporters of the IFP, that's a very strong allegation. What's your response to it?
Well, it's a pathetic, allegation, that one. Because we build roads, for instance, and there is nobody who is actually standing on those roads, actually checking people's political affiliations before they travel on those roads. So it's an absolute diabolical lie. which actually one needs to treat it with the contempt it deserves. Here in the municipality that I lead, councillors, if there is an allocation for EPWPs that we get, councillors are actually asked to go to their respective wards and recruit the numbers that we require for EPWPs. When they get recruited, nobody is asked to show an affiliation. At any rate, we don't need to do so here in Nongoma because virtually we command more than 90% membership in terms of political affiliation. And for your information, viewers, the EFF had one councillor in our council here, and that guy actually was the chairperson of the unpack, which is the scoper of our municipality. So he had no reason why he actually had to shower us with accolades for the best financial management. Right. He could easily have taken us to court. He could easily have investigated us because it was EFF. And that is why I'm saying my sister there, the EFF sister, could do well to communicate with his former colleague.
So Mayor, let's talk very briefly about this issue of the proof of residence. Why do people not have a proof of residence? What's happening there?
The proof of residence is actually available from councillors. And we have actually even dedicated an office here in our municipality in town, and a staff member, full-time employed, to actually service those people who actually need a proof of residence. My problem is that I'm actually talking to people who are just mere visitors to Nongoma, who do not actually reside in Nongoma, to know the kind of services that we provide.
Oh, okay, let's leave it there. So, Sizakele, I'm going to give you a minute to wrap up then this conversation. And if you can begin by asking, are you a resident of Nongoma?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
So your closing argument for why the residents of Nongoma should vote for you then?
The residents of Nongoma should vote for EFF because we are committed. We have councillors that are committed for service delivery. They are committed to serve our people. They are committed to such an extent that they have the best interest at heart for the people. They are committed and they are ready to service our people. So people of Nongoma should vote for EFF because we also have the manifesto that is talking about adopting the school, adopting the Early Child Development Center, where those programs of ours are going to accelerate infrastructure delivery in all this around the area of Nongoma.
All right. You can continue.
Okay. Yeah. So they need to vote for the EFF. We also know about the expropriation of land. We believe in that. We should take that land that is idle, not because we want to be bully, but because we want to service the people.
All right.
So if we take that land, then we will use it for the benefit
of
our
Sizakele,
people.
Your minute is up. Let's leave it there for this evening. Swelakhe, if you can also begin by answering just your minute as you wrap up. Do you live in Nongoma?
Nongoma is my constituency.
No, but do you live there?
As much as I cannot live in Nongoma, but on a daily basis, I work in Nongoma. Because I work the entire constituency.
Okay, you can continue. Why should people vote?
Why should people vote for DA? There are a few reasons. I'll just mention 7 of them. Number 1, we want to get the basic rights by ensuring that all people get clean water. Secondly, and we provide environment where we can find ourselves secured and create and maintain a public space that all enjoy. Secondly, what we want to build a world-class road, because if the infrastructure if the local government is failing to invest in the infrastructure, definitely there is no investor that will come and invest in that particular area. As we can see in Nongoma, roads are terrible.
Okay.
Last 2 days ago,
your minute to wrap is up. Your minute to wrap is up, unfortunately. That's where we'll have to leave it. Councillor Mncwango, your minute to again close this conversation.
Is it me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just hope that the people of Nongoma, because they are smart people, they are going to continue to vote for us in order for us to continue providing them with the kind of quality service delivery that we have actually been giving them. They know that there is a lot of projects that are work in progress. They know that they need to give us time to complete them, and they have given that kind of assurance. That is why last week, the only EFF councillor in my council actually jumped ship and joined the IFP because he said he wants to be part of a team that actually provides good service delivery. So my sister does not have any representation in my council anymore. And even in the next, after the elections on the 1st, I doubt if in my council there will be any EFF or DA for that matter, because all of those people have joined the IFP.
Your minute is up. Your minute is up. We're going to have to leave it there. Very cordial relationships between the different political party representatives, but I wonder if the fact that some of the candidates then that are speaking tonight on behalf of their constituencies in Nongoma, if the fact that they don't live there will have any kind of bearing on how the votes will go. That's where we'll leave it for tonight. Let me thank the IFP's Albert Mncwango, who's also the mayor of Nongoma, the EFF's Sizakele Mathebula, and the DA's Swelakhe Shelembe. And of course, we lost the ANC's Nhlanhla Mthembu due to poor connection.